Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here. A moment. You know, I heard something that I agree with today on the telly, and that is that a great portion of the American people were saying today that out of all of the people that are in America, that there is no one that could have been any worse as a choice and president of the United States than number 45, than Donald Trump. Any person could have been as good, and just anybody else would have been much better. Now, what does that say about America? America put its hope, its trust, its faith in the worst of America. I guess what that really says is that America had claimed to present the best of all to the world. America had claimed to present to the world the best of all: religion, democracy, system, economics, whatever. They were number one. But the American people knew better. As America was standing up on the mountaintop shouting to the world about how it should be, America knew exactly how it was, and is. And at the same time, the same animosity, the same bigotry, the same hatred, the same racism that had always been a part of America was just sitting there, while America had tried to pretend as if she was better than that by changing some laws, but not changing the hearts, and not even really changing the conditions that made people feel comfortable in the assumptions that they had accepted as truths. When America stopped treating people as slaves, whenever that was, they say we'll treat you as second-class citizens. In other words, you don't really matter. And at the same time, that was keeping solid the first foundation that they, blacks, were less than human. All of this. And so how can all of a sudden white people who accepted this start all of a sudden treating black people as if they were equal to black people? It could not happen. Not by the system that was employed. The only way it could happen was to start making sure that the access that white people had, black people had it too. Not available to you. No, if one had it, the other had it as well. Didn't have to use it if they didn't want to. But if white people had access to education, then black people had access to education. In fact, it would be required, if you were dealing with righteousness and wisdom, to assure that every individual had access to education. But white people didn't have that. I'm speaking about white people because I'm speaking about this country and how it treated blacks, and how these kinds of things were the foundation for the hell that we're going through in this nation today. Now, you got guys out here running for president, candidate, wannabe candidate for the Republican Party, and not a one of them really have any decency. You see, Christie is trying to pretend as if all of a sudden he has some decency. He had it all the time, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter at that time. Now, at this time, he could use it for his benefit. So he tried to pretend as if he had some decency, when the reality of it is the nation knows that he does not have any decency. And the others, they are just baby Trumps. And for Trump to be, as some have concluded, the worst individual in this country to have been president and still standing up leading the pack says a great deal about this country. Now, when we start looking at that, we start looking at what's supposed to be it's better, the Democrats. Now, the truth of the matter is Democrats are a lot better than Donald Trump and the Republican Party now. But that doesn't really say too much. Another president other than Donald Trump, who was a Republican, perhaps could have been still, though not good for Democrats, could have been better than Trump. So to say that Biden is all of that is to put things out of context. Biden is better than Trump. But what does that say about the Democrats as well? The pain and suffering that the Republicans have caused and play a part in allowing to exist every day, so do the Democrats. And when we say so do Democrats, we're putting all of the politics in the same boat. But that's not the worst. The worst is that we the people who are having it done to us, we the people who are having a stick stuck up our butt, all we're doing is hunching, trying to keep it from hurting so bad, rather than getting that stick out. So as far as I'm concerned, the message from God is, what are you going to do about that stick? And God isn't talking about killing people like the world. The world, that's its way. God does things by resisting, as we, the people, we resist. When we resist, they get nothing out of us. Now, the statement I was making a moment ago, not one candidate has any idea about how to resolve the problems of this nation. No, they just keep talking about some stuff. They have no idea. And if you ask them the question, they would have no answer. But then let's go back to Biden. Biden has said some things that are wonderful. They're on the same path, but they're not righteous. They're on the path of righteousness, but they're not righteous, because at the end of the day, we still got people who are suffering for all of the natural things that have been designed for human beings to experience here on this earth, during this life, during this time. So, if a Republican cannot tell you how to fix this problem, Democrat cannot. Let me tell you something. The way to fix this problem is that every human being on the face of the earth, here right now, benefits from something on this earth every day, almost every minute. Benefit from something on this earth. So it, to me, is absolutely, goes without saying, that everybody on this earth that who is able should be engaged in the process of creating more and more of this which they are benefiting from every day. And to make it uniquely fantastic and divine is that you engage yourself in that which gives you the greatest joy. I always have to say that. It is joy that keeps you going. Joy keeps you singing. Joy keeps you dancing. Joy keeps you drawing. Joy keeps you painting. Joy keeps you digging. Joy keeps you climbing. And at the same time, the almighty power that's bigger than all of us has uniquely tied it together, hooked it up, so all of the food, the clothing, the shelter, the education, all those wonderful things that we say are so essential, I mean, it's just overflowing. We don't have to lie, cheat, steal. We don't have to do any of that kind of stuff. This, my friends, they cannot tell you. They cannot tell you that all of this is answered just because you put everybody to work. Oh, you might not have maybe 1,000 billionaires, but you might have, without a doubt, 8 billion people who have access to life just as billionaires. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking to you about that kind of a God. That kind of a God that has you building your heaven. Nobody coming out here and suck you out, some rapturing your lazy tail out, rapturing you out, gonna take you somewhere else because you didn't rock the boat. This ship go down, you going down with it. If this ship go down, if you don't find yourself with all the power that you got, all the righteousness that you got, standing up, holding and daring this ship to go down because your righteousness is too strong, you don't find yourself doing that, you going down with that baby. And you deserve to. What makes you any more special than they? That's because they were willing to take and put up and cause more suffering than you. Hey, you caused your share as well. God is not about that. God is the God that I'm talking to you about is a God of love. It was about making everything life. So, let's see. When I think about it, and I give it some serious thought, to say that America, in spite of it all, wanted Trump, and the things that God offered to you, you totally resisted, because it was offered to you. You totally resisted, and even now, you've heard of it, and you're not thinking about it. So let me ask you something. Why would any power rapture you up When somebody comes to you and say those things that you say happen in heaven, you can have today if you act according to the principles. And you resist it and think you're going to wrap you up and put you there anyway. Tell me one good reason why they would do that. Why anybody would do that. How long could you stay in a place like that? Look, you've been in hell your whole life and you've put up with it. You'll put up with it some more. All right, I just wanted to share that with you, ladies and gentlemen. Tell you that you better do some more thinking. Bye-bye.